Hello guys, my name is Ajibola, but you can call me Jips. In this video, I'll be focusing on what is happening in the UK, and especially with regards to the leadership situation there, because it doesn't look like the Prime Minister of that country will be in office for a very long time. And that's why I've titled this video file name, Keir Starmer's Resignation or Removal from the office of UK Prime Minister, status downloading 90%. And I said downloading 90% because, just as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't look like it's going to be in office for a very long time. The numbers don't appear to be in his favor. Public opinion, um, well, when I talk about the numbers, it's actually basically the public opinion in numbers. Now, public opinion doesn't appear to be in his favor based on the numbers. And also quite a number of other issues have come up, which further which further makes which further make which do not make the government look good, which also do not make the prime minister look good. So that's why I've said that it doesn't look like the prime minister will be in office for a very long time. And some have said that he might not be in office beyond Christmas 2025. Some have even said that he might not be in office beyond the next 6 months. I don't want to put a timeline to it. I don't know. I don't have an idea of how long he's going to be in office for, but it doesn't look like he's going to be in office for a very long time. I don't want to say it's only going to be there for another 6 weeks or 3 months or 2 months. But it doesn't look like it's going to be in office for a very long time. Now, let's have a look at some of the numbers. I'm talking about polling numbers now. Just give me a moment while I share my screen. All right, so I don't know. So if you're able to see my screen now, so I'll start with this polling number from July 2025. So these are polling numbers from July 2025. And so looking at this chart, this is for the electoral calculus. Now looking at this chart, we can see that 42% of the people surveyed voted or expressed interest in a reform plurality. 40% of the people surveyed expressed interest in a reform majority. For Labour, only 1% expressed interest in Labour majority, while 16% expressed interest in Labour plurality. While for the Conservatives, only 2% expressed interest in conservative plurality. I don't think there's anything from what I'm seeing in this chart. It doesn't look like there's anything for conservative majority. And this was these were polling numbers for the month of July 2025. Now, one could easily look at it and say, hey, that's July. We need something more current. Yeah, that's totally fine. Now, let's look at the numbers let's look at YouGov. That's another polling organization, YouGov UK. So the numbers are at 28th September 2025. All right, so from what we can see here, Reform UK, you know what, let me just remove all of this and then start selecting the one after the other. So for Reform UK, as at 28th September 2025, that's 29% indicated interest in voting for Reform UK. So, for example, so basically, the whole idea is, so who would you vote for if a general election were to be held? So as at 28th September, when these numbers were analyzed, or when these numbers came in, I don't really know when they were analyzed, but I would say that the numbers came in. Basically, the question for what we are seeing, it says if there were a general election held tomorrow, which party would you vote for? So as on 28 September 2025, 29% said that they would vote for Reform UK. Labour, 21%, Conservative, 16%. Each other party, Lib Dems, that's 15%. Liberal Democrats, yeah, so that's 15%. Just wanted to be sure, so it doesn't look like. And the Green Party, 11%. others 3%. So you can see that. Well, let me also select these other ones too. But their numbers aren't. And you can compare them with the the front runners numbers that the front runners have. So you can see that this doesn't look too good for a party that's in power. Now let's look at another polling organization. So now let's go to Ipsos. So voting intention for September 2025. Some people were surveyed by Ipsos, and the results for September 2025, 34% of the people surveyed said they would rather vote for Reform UK, 22% for Labour, 14% for Conservative, Lib Dems 12%, Green 12%, others 6%. So that's for September 2025. Now let's also look at the one for Spectator. The Spectator. So that's another polling body. Polls that were conducted by another organization. So let's see, hold on. All right. So the Spectator poll tracker, so Westminster voting intention. So if people were to vote, so 31% said they would vote for Reform UK, 21% said Labour, 17% for the Conservatives, 13% for the Lib Dems, 10% for Green, for the Green Party. So leader net approval rating. Here, this looks, I mean, if I were Keir Starmer, I would really be worried about this. And I'm sure you must have seen some of these numbers and some of these charts. And I'm sure, for any politician that knows that is really, how do I put it now, conscious of what is happening, up to date on what is happening. I mean, politics is a game of numbers. So I want to believe that, for him to have risen to the position of prime minister, he must have also, over time, he must have been acquainting himself with the dynamics of opinion polls and things like that. And these numbers do not look good. So leader net approval rating, from what is said here, from what is indicated here rather. So it says proportion who think party leaders are doing a good job, less the proportion who think they're doing a bad job. So that is those who think they're doing a good job minus those who think they're doing a bad job. So for Nigel Farage, so only for Nigel Farage has -4. So which means there are more people who think he's doing a bad job than those who think he's doing a good job as the leader of Reform UK. But it's just -4. Ed Davey is -8. Kemi Badenoch is -26, while Keir Starmer is -44. -44. That's terrible. And so here it says by fieldwork and data polls from 11 January 2024 to 8 September 2025. To 8 September 2025. So his net approval rating as a leader, as a party leader in the United Kingdom, as at 8 September 2025 was -44. I mean, he has the worst net approval rating, or he had, well, as at the time these numbers came out, he had the worst net approval rating of all the party leaders in the United Kingdom. This doesn't look good at all. Now, here it says satisfaction with prime ministers. They have to consider some prime ministers from Tony Blair to Gordon Brown to David Cameron to Theresa May to Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss, and Keir Starmer. And you can see here that for Keir Starmer, he has the lowest net satisfaction rating. All right, the lowest, the least. I mean, the other guys, none of them. I mean, the other guys have been having very poor numbers. The numbers have been undulating and things like that. But Keir Starmer's own has just been like a free fall. It's been on a free fall, and none of these other guys has had numbers that or net satisfaction ratings that were as bad as Starmer's. none of them has had anyone that has had numbers that were as bad as Starmer's. Even Rishi Sunak, that Keir Starmer succeeded as prime minister, his numbers were not as bad as Starmer's current numbers. And so here it says figures to 17th September. Okay, so the question that was posed to the responders was, are you satisfied or dissatisfied with the way the PM is doing his or her job? And looking at comparing historical figures with Starmer's figures, Starmer came up figures for till date has been like the worst compared to these other guys, compared to his predecessors, So and then here it says party vote share in elections. Okay, well, I think these were just the historical figures for the previous elections. So you can see now that the numbers are not in his favor. It's not just me saying it or saying it off the top of my head. It's basically about the numbers, and numbers do not lie. And so so I said earlier that because of a number of issues, that's why the numbers are not in Keir Starmer's favor. So what were some of the issues? Now, when he was running for office, or when he was the leader of opposition, he was criticizing the Conservative Party. Well, I don't know how maybe I should put it this way. He gave the electorate, that's the people, the impression that it was going to stop migrants, illegal migrants, from entering the UK, because there was a huge wave of illegal migrants coming to the UK, heading to the UK by boat, trying to cross the English Channel and so on and so forth. But the impression he gave was that he was going to stop it, and that he was going to take a tougher stance on legal immigration. But as things are, it doesn't look like he's on top of that. His government hasn't really done much in order to stem the tide. And the people of the United Kingdom aren't happy about this. They are not happy about this. Now, on the other hand, Nigel Farage of the Reform UK Party appears to be saying the right things with regards to stopping illegal immigration. And so that's why more people are, that's why he's having a more favorable approval rating. Another issue is the issue of the economy. The economy rather hasn't improved under Keir Starmer. It has, from what I've been hearing, it seems to have been getting worse over time. So it doesn't look like the economy is growing. It doesn't look like there's been any improvement in the economy, and so people aren't happy about this. So it's about it has to do with the economy. So now, to now make matters worse, so those are just some of the two things. Those were not the only two things, but just two of the things that people have been having issues with. And then to now make matters worse, much worse, in the last couple of weeks, some scandals. There were scandals. One scandal was about the deputy prime minister, or the former deputy prime minister, the immediate past deputy prime minister, Angela Rayner, not paying enough stamp duty on her property. So that scandal was unearthed some weeks back, and because of the public outcry about this, about the fact that the deputy prime minister had underpaid stamp duty on her property, the deputy prime minister, that's Angela Rayner, had to resign. She had to step down, even though the prime minister was still, speaking in parliament in her favor, and things like that, saying good things about her, trying to make it look like, hey, it was a mistake. The deputy prime minister also said, oh, it was a mistake. She listened to the wrong advice and things like that, the wrong tax advice and things like that. But eventually she had to step down. She resigned, and then, as if that wasn't enough, I think a week or less than 2 weeks later, another one broke, and that had to do with the UK, the British ambassador to the United States. Peter Mandelson. It was revealed that he had a very close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And not only that, even when, for those who have been following, by the way, for those who have been following what has been happening all along, you would know who Jeffrey Epstein was. I don't want to go into details about who he was, but he's no longer around. But then, um, so so when you say Jeffrey Epstein, people already understand the kind of person he was and the crimes he committed. And so Peter Mandelson was close to him. It was revealed letters that he wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, indicating how that he was a good friend of his and things like that, and how that he appreciated their friendship. Those letters were published. Those letters made it to mainstream media. I'm talking about letters from, I think, about 20 years ago, from a long while ago. So those letters made it, were published, and people saw the letters, and it was further revealed that he kept standing by Jeffrey Epstein even when he had issues. It was revealed that he had committed some crimes and things like that, and so on and so forth. That didn't look good. The Prime Minister on the floor of Parliament still defended Mr. Mandelson, but I remember during Prime Minister's questions, he defended Mandelson, but I think the following day, he had to sack him. He actually sacked Peter Mandelson. So, these, and other issues. Oh, and oh, by the way, another one is, another developing story about the Prime Minister, that's Keir Starmer, not paying enough inheritance tax, or not paying inheritance tax rather, on the donkey field that he said that he gave to his parents. I mean, it had to do with the donkey field, his parents owning the donkey field. He said he purchased it for about £20,000 and all that. People are accusing him of having sheltered it from inheritance tax rather, about £320,000 that are associated with the donkey field. I think he sold the donkey field or something like that. But that's the amount he sheltered it from inheritance tax. But he said he did not do so. Things like that. It doesn't look good. It's further complicating. It's a developing story. It's still a case of, oh no, I didn't do it. Oh yeah, I did it. Oh no, oh no, no, no. Oh no, I didn't do it. Oh no, yes, you did it. So it's people keep insinuating that for the inheritance tax with regards to the donkey field, that he tried to shield shield it from I mean, he tried to shield it from prevent paying inheritance tax on it. Okay, so for the donkey field, I don't know. Sorry, I said something earlier that it seems he sold it. I'm not sure it's the case that he sold it, but about £320,000. So that it was shielded from inheritance tax and things like that. So it doesn't look good, and because of this. I'm sure the next polling numbers will be much worse with this new revelation, with this developing story about the inheritance tax. And so, what do you guys think? Do you think Keir Starmer will be able to weather this storm successfully and be able to turn things around and probably be able to complete his term, which will come to an end by 2029, and possibly even be able to win? His party will probably be able to win at the general election of 2029? Or do you think that he'll be removed in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, and so on and so forth? There are some names that are being mentioned here and there as people who might succeed in. Someone like the mayor of Greater Manchester and the Bonner hope I pronounced the name properly. All right, and then Westreeting, and that's one of his cabinet, one of a secretary in his cabinet. All right, so let me just confirm. So for, sorry, just give me 1 second. All right, so Westreeting is the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care in the United Kingdom. Um, and the Bonham, yes, he's the mayor of Greater Manchester. All right. So those are some of the names that have been currently mentioned as people who might succeed him, or people who are indicating interest, or people, yeah, who are indicating interest, maybe not overtly, um, but in a way they are indicating interest in succeeding him as leader of the Labour Party. And if they succeed, if any one of them or anyone else should succeed them as the Labour Party, that person would automatically become the Prime Minister. So what do you think? Do you think, just as I said earlier, do you think Prime Minister Keir Starmer will be able to weather this storm and be able to bounce back stronger? Or do you think it's all over for him? He will not be able to recover from this? Please drop your comments in the comment section. And please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. And also, if you like what the things I said in this video, or the content of this video, please do like the video as well. Thank you.